North Carolina State Senate Bill 36 is set to be front and center again tomorrow in Raleigh. It's been about 2 months since it was filed. This bill is co-sponsored by State Senator Trudy Wade of Guilford County. It would, among other things, change the size of and power within Greensboro City Council. State Senate has already approved it, and it's passed its first reading in the House. If the House Elections Law Committee approves it tomorrow, the bill will go before the full House for a vote. Well, no doubt tonight's Newsmaker will be watching that bill closely. It would be hard to name a person here in the Piedmont Triad who has a more diverse list of interests. He's already among the region's largest landowners and among the largest developers and builders of homes and apartments in the Carolinas. 6 years ago, last month, I featured Roy Carroll in a Newsmaker segment as he was renovating his $40+ million 17-story tower in downtown Greensboro. Let's just say, despite encountering some controversy along the way, he hasn't slowed down in his businesses, his politics, nor his passion. The glass doors in Roy Carroll's penthouse open to reveal a view of Greensboro and the western Piedmont Triad like none other.
You know, we've seen just some spectacular sunsets up here.
Oh, I was going to say, absolutely. Carroll's home sits atop a structure that used to be a Wachovia bank and office building until he gutted the place and installed luxury condominiums. The Center Point Tower weathered the recession and now boasts about an 80% occupancy. Is your passion for downtown as strong today as it was the last time we talked?
Absolutely. I mean, with our new development that we've announced, the Belmead Village project, which is crossing the ballpark, I mean, that's a $55–60 million development there.
In fact, Center Point overlooks the sandy lot on which that development will sit. Everything's still in the planning stages, and there are no architect drawings yet. But imagine a 110-room Hyatt Place hotel sitting here, mixed with retail and apartments.
The apartments will be what they call a podium-style construction, where you basically will have 5 stories on top of a cast bottom. We want to have retail programmed into the bottom, but we're trying to work out our parking.
All of your experience in construction, development, and real estate, why did you buy the Rhino Times?
I ask myself that once in a while, too. I think it adds balance in terms of print publications. It's offered in our community.
How do you respond to critics who say because you were a developer, you deal with city, county government, but yet you're a newspaper publisher? How is that not a conflict of interest?
If I've got something to say, I'm not going to tell John Hammer, write this or write that or whatever. I'm just going to write myself.
Right.
Buy a few extra pages in the next edition and write what I think. And he's going to write what he thinks, and sometimes that's going to agree, sometimes it's going to conflict.
So if John Hammer were to write another one of those scathing articles about you and your company, you'd let him publish that in the Rhino Times?
His marching orders are he should.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
$16 million for the News and Record. How serious were you?
It's real serious. You know, I'd like to bring the ownership of the News and Record back local.
Have they slanted a little too much to the left, in your opinion?
I think they have. Let's at least try to hit it down the middle of the fairway. Let's not be too far to the left, too far to the right.
But Carroll does lean a little more toward the right when it comes to State Senator Trudy Wade's bill that would, among other things, reduce the size of the Greensboro City Council. Wade has suggested this is something business owners want. There are some in the area who think you are that business person. Were you?
No.
Really?
Absolutely not. And I mean, if I were, I would be standing next to her on this Bill 36.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
In fact, up until recently, everyone thought he was.
You know, my voter registration card starts with an R.
Yeah.
And so I'm for smaller government in general. I think it's more agile.
Carroll also says he likes the idea of longer 4-year city council terms, which might encourage more business leaders to run. Leaders who would understand the workings of a $500 million a year budget. He says one of his biggest concerns goes back to the area his penthouse overlooks. He'd like more, if not all, of the bill's proposed districts touching downtown because, like Washington, D.C. doesn't belong to any one state, downtown Greensboro doesn't belong to any one district.
I'm going to offer, like I think everyone else should offer, their opinion on things. And I think that's what makes us a good community, when we have various opinions being offered and brought to the table.
Carroll also says he's a fan of the Downtown Performing Arts Center and the discussions to develop a mega site and possibly attract an automobile manufacturer. As for his offer to buy the News and Record, which the paper's owner, Berkshire Hathaway, recently turned down, he says it's still on the table. And his hotel apartment retail development across from the ballpark is set to be complete by the spring of 2017.